Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to discuss handmade stenciling, and I'm going to go ahead and lay out some of the stencils I've cut before. I've got a whole collection. I've been cutting them for quite some time, but these are just a few of them to put on the white backdrop just to let you see how the stencils look before I start to work with the paint. Hand-cut stencils are fun to work with. They give you a different mark, and it's like a kind of a poor man's version of printmaking in a bit. But they are easy to make and very convenient to use throughout different pieces. You can turn them around, you can get different angles with them, you can overlap them, and I'm going to overlap some of these today as I take you on a run through of this. You can see I've painted over these several times. I've used these with spray paint, but today I'm going to use acrylic and keep it as a painting with just acrylic paints. So here's the stencil. I'm just going to go over this with some light blue acrylic paint. If you want, you can put some, maybe small pieces of tape to hold this in place, but generally I just hold it with my hands and I work around it, bringing in the blue paint within the stencil. I feel like stenciling can also bring a ghostly presence to the piece. I've spoken in many of my videos about that ghostly presence type of vibe I try to get, and the stenciling definitely lends that as well. Okay, now I'm going to get some more water just to kind of blend out some of the blue out to the edges. Working with this technique, you get to find out more about line, shape, and positive, negative space. And I'm going to lift this off here. You can see what's left behind. And this is always the fun part. But there you go with the first one. Okay, now I'm going to take my second stencil. I'm going to lay it right beside it. And this is more a standing figure. And I'm going to stay with the blue. And I'm going to very quickly go around the edges. Of course, this isn't an exact science. You will have some blobs and maybe areas that don't completely go around your stencil, but nevertheless, it gives you an impression of the stencil you've cut. I know some artists like to use ready-made stenciling, but I like doing my own stencils, and this is just a very stiff Bristol board that I've cut from using X-Acto blades. Okay, and now I'm going to use my last stencil here just for the process to show it to you. And now I'm going to go in with a little bit of a kind of a dark red, kind of a red mixed with blue, kind of a purplish tone to it. I'm just going to move around really quickly, try to get in all the different facial features that's in this stencil. Okay, just trying to get every little nook and cranny I can of all the cuts I've added to this. And the stencils, when I cut them out, they don't take that long. They kind of seem like it, but they don't. you can move through it pretty quickly. And here comes the magic part where you pull it back and you can see what's left behind. And like the other one, I will add water to the edges just to kind of blend it out and bring it into the blue just a little bit more. And I'll stop there on this part. I think you get the point of how to do the technique and the process. And now I want to show you some of my finished pieces using the stenciling technique. Okay, this is a piece of some of the ongoing themes I've had working with kids. And you can see the obvious stencil here with the hair and the fingers and whatnot. I also went in with other paints to finish it off. This is another one, just kind of an examination of suburbia and some of the ways kids feel when they're overwhelmed. The next one here is another stencil. You can see the obvious stencil in the figure, but I brought the dark birds in above the kid. Here's one of perhaps a riot. I don't know exactly what I was doing with this, but the police officer is there with the shield, with the stencil. And finally, the heart was the stencil in this one, bringing in figures. So I hope you enjoyed this process today. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.